Temperatures are hovering in the mid-80s. The calendar reads the middle of May. Most of us are thinking the end of school and beach season, but there's about 70 or 80 guys out here and some dedicated coaches who just completed day one of spring practice. Guys, welcome to the 2015 Warrior football season. I'm Kevin McCloskey. We're going to do a little spring preview. Kay and I have been out here taking in the practice, taking some pictures, talking to some of the guys, and we're going to take you around the conference and around the team and let you know what's going on. You know, to do that, one thing I did today is I sat down and I analyzed the roster, trying to figure out what the new look Warriors are going to be all about. Last year we had a great senior class. All of them were contributors. Thankfully, they were a relatively small senior class, only 12 or 13 members. This year we got a huge senior class. We're pushing 38 guys. So we've got a few holes to fill. And let me run you through the depth chart and we'll take a stab at it. All right, going through, starting first of all at quarterback, as many of you know if you're Warrior fans, we're blessed to have Trey McCollum come back for year 3 as a starter, as a rising senior. Trey's been around the program, leading the team. We've lose no one. And probably as a backup, you're looking at Jake Crispin. Jake Crispin will be a rising sophomore, did outstanding with the JVs last year. And if Trey goes down, you're probably looking at Jake stepping in. Going over to running back, key losses, Donovan Apple. Now, Donovan was hurt a lot of last year, but he was still a key member of the team, so we're going to certainly miss his toughness there. Thankfully, we've got a plethora of running backs coming back, headlined by Darius Poo-Poo Penix. Penix, as a sophomore last year, ran for over 800 yards, caught another 300 yards in passes, scored multiple touchdowns. He's versatile. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He can even play defense. So Darius Penix looks to headline the running backs, and watch out for a monster season. I'm calling it right now from number 14. Along with Darius, you're going to have Casey Okoronkwo, always steady, a great runner out of the backfield, and also plays defensive back. And Josiah Bellamy. Those are the ones that I know are going to get a lot of playing time for the Warriors in the backfield. Now, one to watch out for, rising sophomore. He's a freshman on the JV squad this year, played some on varsity, Keontae Analyst. Keontae, as Kay nicknamed him, has called him Little Tolbert, as in Mike Tolbert from the Panthers. He's low, huge lower body, was seen squatting 500 pounds as a true freshman. So, guys, the legs are strong. Watch for him in goal line situations. Now, wide receiver, we took a hit. We lost 3 great seniors, Britton Smith, Neil Hazlip, James Hauser. So that's where we've got some holes to fill. It's going to be headlined or started by returning rising senior Mende Carlton. Now, joining Mende, you're going to have a bunch of guys. I'm going to read off some names. These are people who I went through from the JV roster and the varsity roster that caught my eye that I think can really step up and play the receiver position for the Warriors. Patrick DeMornay, Perry Greason, Nathan Clapp, Trayvon Williams, DJ Kirkland, Philip Cole, Nas John Howard, DJ Hudson, Nick Modlin, and Daquan Lee. Guys, there might be others, and I apologize if I missed anyone, but these are the people that I think you're going to see catching passes for the Warriors. And oh, by the way, don't sleep on Jake Crispin. We mentioned him as a backup quarterback. He's too good to keep off the field. He will be playing receiver as well. Tight end. Tight end's going to be a tough one. We replace everything, all conference, all region, Hunter Lent. Hunter's graduated. He's going to go on to walk on at Carolina as a punter, actually. But tight end, Hunter was invaluable in the H-back role of the Western Alamance offense as a pass receiver and as a blocker. That's where we're going to miss him. So that's, for me personally, that's the biggest question mark right now. Who's going to step up? Austin Mansfield's prime for it. Maybe somebody else will come in and also battle for playing time, but we're going to need somebody to fill that tight end role because it's the secret weapon. Both Kay and I always love when the tight end catches a pass. Offensive line, very good news. The bad news is that we lost 2 great seniors in Ty Parker and Lofton Johnson. However, coming back, we've got 3 starters in Jamie Schaffner, Mark Wheeler, and Chase Alexander. Of those, 2 of those guys are juniors, Wheeler and Alexander, so we're going to have them for 2 more years. So I can't wait to see what they do as seniors. And then coming along, I remember from the JV squad and also in some of varsity, Noah Turner is another guy that I caught my eye. And we do have a great, big, large group of linemen. There's a lot of guys out here, so we never know who's going to emerge as we get into the later stages of spring practice and into fall practice. But we are blessed that we have numbers this year. So if somebody goes down, we should have depth. That's a very good thing along the lines. Jumping to special teams quickly. I already mentioned Hunter Lent at punter. We're going to lose Hunter as a punter. And when we lost Tyler Billings as a kicker. Both were outstanding. Both won numerous postseasons awards. However, I think we're going to be in good shape. Moving up, we'll have 1 player to play 2 spots. Jacob Christopher will be a rising junior. Jacob played for the JVs last year, did some time at varsity. He plays kicks and punts, did a great job. And I feel very comfortable putting the ball on the hands, actually the feet, of young Mr. Christopher. All right, now we're going to jump over to the defensive side of the ball. And, guys, you know it all starts up front with the defensive line. Again, Hunter Lent was a three-way player here. He also played defensive line, so he's one of the key losses along the line. But that's one position where we're blessed that we got a bunch of returners. Darius Penix, he'll be playing defensive end. Josiah Bellamy has the potential to be a monster at defensive end. Got to be a little bit stronger and be more consistent, but he's got the speed and the tenacity to do it. Daniel Bratcher, we just spoke with Daniel a minute ago. It's an interview. Daniel missed most of his junior season, and I really expected him to have a breakout year last year, but he was injured. This year, it's do it or not for Daniel. He's got to step up and become a force along the defensive line that I know he can be. A couple of guys last year that did very well, but they're a little bit undersized, were Cody Walker and Matt Harper. I didn't see Matt out here today. I know Matt's battling some health issues. Cody has really bulked up. I was very pleased to see that. That was the only thing holding him back last year, that and just being a little more consistent. But I feel really good about the defensive line. We also have a new player in, J.J. Webb. You guys keep a look at him. I'm hearing good things about him. He was from the Western District and has been away for a while, but he's transferred back to finish out his senior year. Some guys that might fill in there and also be key contributors, Mike DePeister, Chandler Weeger. I'm expecting things out of Chandler. I expected him last year, and I expect even more this year. Chandler looks like he's gotten himself in better shape. Kavion Roberts, same thing. He's got to get himself in better shape, but he can be a stout force in the middle. Might not be able to give us, a bunch of plays, but if he can get in there and contribute 10 or so plays a game and anchor that defensive line, become a run stopper, that would help. Guys stepping up from the JV side that I'm looking to, I didn't see them today, but hopefully they're out there, are Austin Sheldon, Matthew Parsons, and Jason Miller. Jason in particular caught my eye last year wearing number 85 for the JVs, so be on the lookout for him. Linebacker is a loss. We had some major losses at linebacker. We lose seniors Eli Gordon and Blake Deathridge. However, that's another spot where I feel good about the returners, the guys that might can step in and take their place. When Blake was out late last year in the playoff game with an injury, Rodney Way stepped in and did a great job for him, so I look for Rodney to really solidify his starting spot. And then Vontae Yellick, another guy that I expect big things from. And who else? Who might step in? Some guys on the JV squad moving up. Caden Rasco played outstanding last year, as did Keontae Analis. He's not just a running back. He plays linebacker as well, and he could be a force, especially stopping the run, running up for run support. Defensive back, we're in great shape, guys. We've got some truly skilled players back there, led by the seniors of A.J. Love and Emmanuel Miles. Austin Joyce returns, and Casey Okoronkwo, who is an all-region performer. And as far as who else to watch for, I'm not going to read the list of names again, but it's pretty much the same guys that I listed at the wide receiver spot. They have the potential to also play defensive back. So that's the roster there. I'm going to take a second and talk about some of the keys as I see them from my perspective. Talked to Coach Snuffer about this a little while ago. We have to avoid the serious injury bug. Now, a lot of that, it's not something you can avoid. It just happens from time to time, but it just seems we've had more than our fair share. Looking back at last year with Donovan Apple, Daniel Bratcher going out for the whole year. Like I said, there's luck involved, but if we can avoid the serious injury bug that'll keep guys out for multiple games or key games, that's going to be huge to us. And we also have to learn how to hold the lead late. Coach Snuffer mentioned it. We had two games, guys, that could have changed the year last year, a coulda game and a shoulda game. The coulda game was Northern Guilford. We were up in the fourth quarter. We could have won that game. Eastern Alamance, as you all know, is a shoulda game. We should have won that game, no doubt. So this year we got to figure out how to get over the hump, that next little itty-bitty bit where they have to dig deeper and just get the job done and pull out the close ones. Now looking around the conference, it's Eastern Alamance and Northern Guilford and Western Alamance. Eastern was the champion last year. Northern Guilford was the champion of the conference 2 years ago. They won the state championship last year. Both of them had significant losses. They lost collegiate players in Malcolm Summers for Eastern Alamance. However, they returned John Lamont, which we know gave us fits last year. We're going to have to figure out how to stop Lamont. Looking at Northern Guilford, Cam Harris and Mook Reynolds are gone to Virginia Tech, but they returned C.J. Freeman as a running back who's already committed to South Carolina. So you're talking about Division I SEC level talent that we're going to have to stop. Now, who knows what's going to happen at Northern Guilford? To be quite honest, their JV squad didn't look like they had a lot of talent coming up to fill those holes, but somehow they'll find guys, and we're going to have to contend with them, no doubt. Looking at Western Alamance, Trey McCullum is the key to the offense. He's a third-year starter. He's a senior. He's a leader. He's getting all kinds of looks from colleges. Trey is one of those guys who has improved from year to year to year. Doesn't always happen. It seems like it should. You should get better each year, right? But sometimes guys go into a slump. They kind of, go up and down a little bit. But Trey has gotten better, and he's got to continue that this year. He's got to own this team. He's got to own the offense, become more assertive, more vocal, and then keep up his stellar play on the field, running and passing, be a dual threat, keep the defense off balance. And another key to my season, as far as I see it, the Warrior season, is feed the beast. In other words, feed the bull, as I call him, Darius Penix, Poo-Poo. Poo-Poo's got to get touches. He's too talented, too much of a speed, power guy. We got to feed him the ball in every way, shape imaginable, and just ride that horse, ride him, and I see him having easily a 1,000-yard season if he can stay healthy. So let's feed the beast. We also have to find a big play guy. We had Brock Deathridge, Justin Wilson a couple years ago. Last year it was Britton Smith. But who's going to be the next guy that steps up and can turn a short play into a 75-yard touchdown? We need somebody that can become a playmaker and really turn on the lights. Voids, we've talked about it a little bit already. I think we've got the linebacker void filled. I think we've got the wide receiver void filled and the kicking game filled. The biggest question mark is tight end. We got to find somebody to step up there and become a threat to catch the ball and catch yardage passes and touchdowns, and also to block. The tight end, the H-back, is an integral part of the Warrior offense. You guys just don't realize how important the H-back is to the blocking plays and running plays. I want to take just a second or a minute and go through what I wrote down. What I labeled this as my personal challenges. These are Kevin McCloskey's personal challenges to players. Now, this is not calling you out. This is not criticizing you for past performance. I'm just saying, to me, you guys, if you can go above and beyond, I think you can be the key to the season. I know there's guys that we've already talked about that are going to perform. I know they're going to do their thing, and I know you guys will too. But I think if you guys can just step up and do a little bit extra, it's going to be key. Austin Mansfield or someone else. Somebody's got to step up at tight end and fill that hole. That's key as far as I see it. Daniel Bratcher, I've already spoken about you. You had your time last year, but you got hurt. So now this year is your senior season. This is your time. You have got to step up, Daniel, and do whatever it takes to get yourself noticed for your own personal goals, but more importantly for the team goals. You've got to become a dominant force on the line. Josiah Bellamy, same thing. You've got all the talent in the world. You've got to work at it. You've got to want it. The sky is the limit for you. You can become a monster defensive end and also be a very, very good running back. Jake Chrisman, I know you're good. You're good at every position on the field. Somehow you've got to find a way to translate that when you're not perhaps playing the position that you love to play, which is quarterback. You'll get your chance. But this year, wherever you're playing, do the best at it and become a game breaker. Emmanuel Miles and Okay, the next group, two guys together because they play together, Emmanuel Miles and A.J. Love. Guys, you're seniors, you're defensive backs. I know you've been getting some looks from colleges. You guys, I need you to step up and become the owners of the defense. I know you did it last year as juniors. You were taking that ownership role. This year you've got to completely take over. Play at another level. You've got to play consistent because you've got big play potential. Don't bite at the chance always to try and make a big play in return for the touchdown. Play solid, play good run support, and you guys can lead us to a championship. Next one, I've mentioned him. He's just going to be a rising sophomore, Keontae Analyst. Keontae, again, like some of the other guys, all the talent in the world. I see you out here working hard, and I want you to keep doing it because the sky is the limit. I've already seen Keontae squatting 500 pounds. Those legs are strong. Now let's get mentally strong. Let's get physically strong everywhere, and you've got a big future ahead of you. Cody Walker, I've already talked about you, and I'm already glad to see that you've already lived up to my challenge. My challenge to you is to get bigger and stronger. You've already done that. Now you've got to play more consistent. You can't take any plays off. You've got to be out there every down giving 100% and just become a guy on the defensive line that we can count on that's always going to be, if you're not making the play, you're disrupting the play. And then somebody else. I don't know who, but somebody that I haven't mentioned, somebody I don't even know, has got to step up and say, whoa, where did that guy come? Make us say, where did this guy come from? He's the difference to the season. We weren't expecting this out of him, and he stepped up so much that he's the one that drove us over the edge to the championship. So I'm going to wrap it up now. I appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall.